Let's get real. The 90s were the best. At the time, the 16-bit war was won by the Super Nintendo. After the 16-bit battle between Sega and Nintendo, it was time for the 5th generation consoles to hit the scene. Sony had the PlayStation, Sega had the Saturn, and Nintendo had the N64. Like many gamers before me, the Nintendo 64 was the first system I ever owned and ever played. And I have so many damn good memories with this thing. And I think it's time that I make a list of the best games that the Nintendo 64 has to offer. Why? Because 64-bit is the shit. Alright, let's rehash the past.
Here we go!
Paper is a wonderful thing. It's used to make two of my favorite things, money and the best RPG of the 64-bit era, the original Paper Mario. Being the second role-playing adventure that Mr. Nintendo starred in, Paper Mario is definitely one of the most memorable RPGs to this day. With the new battle system introduced, RPG fanatics were just sucked into this masterpiece. And when you add that to a great plot, appealing graphics, and a soundtrack that you will never forget, you get one of the must-haves in your collection. If you're like me, then one of your favorite things to do in video games is to blow shit up. That's exactly what happens when you take a crapload of weapons and give them to the love child of RoboCop and Vespa Point. And the end result is one of the most underrated games ever made, Buck Bumble. I don't even need to say anything, just look. Holy shit. God damn. I fucking love this game.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I know, right about now you're probably thinking, what the hell is this shit? Now, with all innovation set aside, I still enjoy Super Mario 64. Just not as much as everybody else. I very much appreciate what this game did to the industry, but it's not my favorite. Just to be frank, Super Mario 64 is fun, nostalgic, and only number 8 on my list. Sorry, fanboys. Without a doubt, my favorite Kirby game is the Crystal Shards. And for good reasons. You can mix copy abilities, control a penguin that looks like Santa, and kill innocent creatures with a flaming lightsaber. That is awesome. It's also one of the funniest in the entire series, complete with cutscenes and a great final boss, even though it is kind of disturbing. The Mario Party series has been with my family and I for 13 years. Now while the first Mario Party was the first I played and owned, it doesn't beat Mario Party 2. While the basic gist of the game is exactly the same as its predecessor, Mario Party 2 included items, battle and duel minigames, as well as unique costumes to go along with the crazy boards it presents, making it my favorite Mario Party of all time. The racing genre is definitely one of the more popular ones. When you bring up the aspect of racing when discussing the Nintendo 64, most people instantly think of Mario Kart 64. Well, not this time, because the best has yet to come.
Diddy Kong Racing!
Hell yes. Back in '97, I thought that Diddy Kong Racing was the best racing game ever made. And, to this day, I still think that way. I mean, Mario Kart 64 was great, but Diddy Kong Racing is insane. With unique characters, a great adventure mode, and one of the most amazing soundtracks ever conceived, Diddy Kong Racing is the real deal. I got a few questions. Please try to answer them the best you can, okay? Question number 1. What do you get when you take a movie and make it into the game? Not so good, huh? Well, how about this? Question number 2. What do you get when you try to make an FPS game good for modern standards? Bad again, huh? Well, I know you'll like this one. Final question. What do you get when you make an FPS game based off of a movie? That's what I thought. Banjo-Kazooie and the sequel, Banjo-Tooie, are some of the best titles Rare ever created. But which of them is on the list? Well, for numerous bosses, huge worlds, and all around higher difficulty, I'm gonna have to go with Banjo-Tooie. Besides, who doesn't like to handle a bird like a gun? Oh, come on. You knew a Zelda game would be high on the list. And if you've seen my top 10 Legend of Zelda games, you would know that I prefer Majora's Mask over Ocarina of Time. Majora's Mask may have less bosses than Ocarina of Time, but there is a lot more things to do than before, and that makes it more enjoyable for me. I don't know if you saw this coming or not, but you can't deny that Star Fox 64 is one of the greatest video games of all time. When a game is full of great moments, a phenomenal soundtrack, dogfights on land, in space, and underwater, as well as legendary quotes and barrel rolls, you know you have an unforgettable experience that will last forever. Star Fox 64 was also the first video game I ever played, and it is by far the greatest Nintendo 64 game ever conceived.